In case you're not, thank you. In case you're not familiar with the multi-cooker, let me just put, I've got this. In case you're not familiar with our multi-cooker, it's called multi for a reason because it does a multitude of things. It has several different parts of it. And we first start with the base here, and the base is where all of the water goes so that you can steam foods that are then cooked within the colanders here. But the base is not like Shauna would say, a one-trick pony. This base is also great for cooking grains. So rice and quinoa and oatmeal and things like that can all be done utilizing this special cover that we put on here. The cover has two parts to it. This part fits down inside, just like that. And what this insert does is allows those things like rice and oatmeal and things like that, that bubble up while they're cooking. Instead of it bubbling all over your microwave, they come up through these little holes, and then it's collected up here, and it will actually dissipate, or it will return into the bottom again, back into your grains here in the bottom. It's all finished off by attaching the cover here on the top. And this cover again has those openings to make it very easy for the steam to escape and any of the bubbles or whatever to fall right back into your recipe so that it's not all over your microwave. What a great idea. Who would have thought about that? So in addition to cooking grains, it will also cook pasta. Yes. Now, usually when you cook pasta, you do not cover it. So you put your pasta here in the bottom, and then you fill it. There are a couple of fill lines in here. There's a minimum and a maximum when you're doing pasta. So you cover your pasta with the water and put in your salt or whatever you want, and into the microwave it goes. And you just cook it according to package directions, and your pasta will be beautiful. Well, in addition, now that's okay. So that's our bottom piece. There's also what I use the most, and here are our colanders. What makes these colanders so unique and so delicious for our for what we're cooking is that this colander is actually stainless steel, it's aluminum that's encapsulated in the Tupperware. So it blocks all the microwaves from reaching your food. So your food is not cooked by the microwaves at all. It is only cooked by the steam from what you're putting here in the bottom of your colander, your water container here. This part, your basin, sorry. So, but this part again is shielding your food from the microwaves. So it is a true steam. So when you put your vegetables in here, they're going to retain their color, they're going to retain their moisture and all of the vitamins and everything that naturally come in those vegetables. It also has a smaller colander that looks like this. And again, this is for me, this is where I usually put my protein. So I cook chicken in here. Tonight we're going to do salmon. You can do shrimp. You can do a variety of things. What you kind of have to keep as a rule of thumb is if you're cooking something a little more delicate like salmon or that sort of thing, you'll want to have your veggies to be a little more delicate. If you're cooking chicken, which will take a little bit longer, then you can use those a little more hearty vegetables. Harder things like carrots and potatoes and that sort of thing. But if you're doing, and sometimes broccoli will stand up, just depends upon how nice and chunky your broccoli is. But you don't want to put something like asparagus in the bottom with chicken because that will come out very, very, it'll be way overdone. So just make sure that you're matching your protein with your veggie, whatever you're putting in here. And a lot of people do it just the opposite. They want their protein here in the bottom and the veggie in the top. whatever, you know, works for you or you like best. I don't mind that the juices from my protein is falling down on my veggies. So that's just me. So, and then the piece here is this, is the cover. And the cover is also aluminum that's encapsulated in this Tupperware. So it's pretty heavy, just like the colander is a little bit heavy. And it too will shield your food from being microwaved. So this will keep your food from it will allow your food to be 100% steamed. That's 100% the way it goes. So just a
Here, fishy.
So I'm going to make an entire meal for you utilizing this tonight. And the first thing that we're going to do, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to use some Orzo. I have a cup of Orzo here, and Orzo is nothing more. Oh, forgot to tell you about this. This comes in when you purchase one of our multi-cookers, you'll get this great little guide that comes. I keep it with it. I don't know. I'm just one of those crazy people. I love having all the pieces and the parts together and for it to look just like it did when I bought it. But this gives you a guide on how to utilize it. So if you need a quick reference, you can always look in here. It tells you about how much to put in, what grains, how long, whether you use max power, all of that kind of stuff. And it's all listed right here on this. So it's very, very easy to use. So another little part of it I wanted to tell you about. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to use a little bit of Orzo. So I'm going to put a cup here in the bottom, just like this, a cup of Orzo. And then I'm going to take a little bit of salt to go in my Orzo. And let me get my little salt. I'm going to put that in here. Just makes it kind of yummy. And put this here in the top.
Hey, Linda.
And then I'm going to add to this one, I'm going to add a little bit of, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you move your camera down just a little bit?
Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Okay, let me put a little bit of chicken stock. Now I'm going to use, this is just happens to be my favorite, and because you can, you know, you can save it. You don't, if you open it and you don't use all of it, it's really okay. You can put it, but you use any kind that you like. Maybe you have some that you've made yourself, which is excellent. So I'm just going to put in here in the bottom. I'm going to put in 2 cups. Because I have a cup of, well, almost 2 cups, like 1 3/4, because that fills up my bottom there. All right, so I have plenty now, huh? Put a little extra, we got 2 cups, what the hey. So that's terrible, isn't it? I'm sorry for you exacting cooks. I know that is very disappointing to see somebody just put it right in, just add a little bit, as my manner is. So now here in the bottom, I'm going to make some veggies. Now I have these ready to go because I didn't think you needed to watch me wash them and cut them into chunks large enough to use in our mandolin, another one of my favorite pieces of Tupperware. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and once we get our meal in the microwave. But first, I just wanted to show you, this mandolin is an amazing product. I mean, it folds flat just like this, so it fits fine down in my drawer. Also in here, there is a place for the additional blades. So I have a crinkle cut blade that I keep in there, but I'm not going to use that tonight. Tonight, we're going to do a straight cut. I can control my cuts by utilizing this little knob here. It allows me to change the position of my blade, but I'll share a little more of that with you in just a minute. First, I want to just show you how this works. because I'm going to cut up this squash. I have a great little guide here, and it is important to use the guide because I want to tell you, these blades are super, super sharp. And did I tell you they're sharp? Because, you know, really, these blades are amazingly sharp. So I'm just going to cut these up just a little bit. We'll see how fast this goes. And don't ever think that you can use your fingers and push that through. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. So I'm going to use a little bit of this. Yeah, I know my husband's standing here saying, don't do like he did. He cut the end of his thumb off because he thought he could push it through. But, you know, you don't ever, ever, ever want to do that. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in, and I've already I cut up a little bit of zucchini as well. I think that goes well with the yellow squash. My personal preference, I mix the two really often. And so I'll do a little more of this. And, I mean, it's just so fast and easy. How long would it take you to cut these to the right consistency? And this time you get an even cut with every single one. Every one is exactly the same. You don't have some that are thinner, some that are fatter, some that'll take longer to cook, some that won't. I did go ahead and cut up my my red peppers. They just add a nice little bit of color. I also put in here, well, I'm going to do those last though. So I put in here, just for the fun of it, a couple of carrots. Carrots I will slice thinner because they'll take a little longer to cook because it is a little more dense than my squash. Now I also did a onion. Now this is only half of an onion. Oh, it's falling apart on me. Now I'm going to put him down here. I'm going to do this because I'm going to cut him sideways. So he'll fall apart really well when I put him in with the others. We're just going to have them, all the little pieces. Oops, don't like the way that turned out. So, no, not that one. There we go. Don't like the way that turned out. So I'm going to cut it up a little bit by hand. Makes it easy. And in they go. I think personally, I love onion in just about everything. I love onions on sandwiches. I love onions in eggs. I love onions in all kinds of things. And I like them raw as well as cooked. I just think that they add so much flavor. And here's another little, a little tip for you, maybe a little bit of trivia you didn't know. The most used vegetable all over the world is the onion, believe it or not. There are more onions used all over the world than any other vegetable. I thought perhaps it was the potato, but no, it's not. It is the onion. So maybe that's why I love them. I don't know. Everybody loves onions. And then one more. I think we're just about done here. And this one. And finally, the last of our zucchini. Now, that was, okay, go through there, little buddy. Okay, you were ready to go anyway. So the last of the zucchini, and I'm going to make my blade a little bit, I'm gonna make it a little less thick, and I'm going to put a carrot on here because here my reason for the carrot is because, Linda, you need to set it on the plate. My reason for the carrot is that I love the color that it adds, and it just gives it a little bit of some personality. Things, you know, you want whatever it is you're cooking to have a little bit of appeal, especially if you're cooking it for kids. So, oh, let's put those around. And then I have a smaller piece. Let's see, I'll just put that on one of these little guys. So this is a much smaller, well, I'll share that with you in a second too. Let's put it on here. Come on. I guess I had a little too long. See if I can do it. Because this thing, oh well, it's a little too long. I should have had it a little shorter. that's okay. It will get there eventually. I'm not going to worry about it because we're, for brevity's sake, there we go. Put it in here. So at least it makes it look, it has a beautiful color to it, our whole thing. And now, so we have all of our veggies in there. Get down there, veggies. And now I'm going to put in my salmon. But my salmon, believe it or not, I'm going to put in frozen. When I take the veggies out, well, maybe I'll put a little bit in right now. I love steak and chop on them. They just make everything taste good. I probably should have done it as I was doing my layers. And I apologize for those of you who hate to touch food like that. I'm going to eat it, so, and my poor husband too, so there you go. And a little bit of some salt. And the salt also will help break down the veggies so that meaning that they will start to cook that evenly. So let's put our little piece of salmon in here. This one is frozen. This one is frozen. Because the salmon, if it were not, they would cook much faster than our veggies. So this way, the salmon stands a chance. Let me wash my hands real quick. And so now the salmon stands a chance. Here, I'm going to put a little bit of salt on that and a little bit of steak and chop. Yes, did I say steak and chop? It is so good on the salmon. Because it has a little bit of citrus in it, which makes it yummy, makes it very, very good. So now this is ready. All of our layers are in here. I'm going to put it in the microwave now. Oops. Keep that over there. If you don't, let me tell you, if you don't have one of these next time they go on sale with Tupperware, you must have one of these. This is a plate cover. We keep it in our microwave because it keeps down, nothing spatters past it, so it keeps your microwave nice and clean. So let me put this in here. 15 minutes. And we're going to start that. Now, while it's cooking, I want to tell you a little bit more about our mandolin. You saw how fast it worked. It was really quick and easy. Made short order of all of those things. So no matter what it is, even if you're doing tomatoes, I know I have one of these right here. At 4th of July, I usually always take the lettuce and tomato and onions and things like that. And I can slice every tomato exactly the same. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that says, how do you do that? How do you get them exactly the same the size? And it's because I use this beautiful mandolin. Now it has on this side, it has a guide here, which allows you to raise and lower the blade. So you can watch this blade as it gets, see, I hope you can see that. No, it's the wrong one. I hope you can see how big that's a huge, huge slice you can make, or, you know, a small slice, which is what I use for those carrots. But it has an off position, which is a locked off position. And when it's like that, then, you know, you can put your hands, it makes it so the blade is not exposed and so you can't cut yourself. Now, there's also an additional little thing here. Now, I'm going to lower my blade just a little bit as though I were going to make potato chips or something. See how small that is? Now, I have these great little blades that pop up so that you can make julienne potatoes or anything that you'd like to make into ribbons or slices if you're doing zoodles and that sort of thing. So these are much closer together. These are much farther apart. So it just depends. Do you want them wide or do you want them super thin? And these blades are very, very sharp. But it makes it very easy. Same thing. You use this, zip, 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 and it cuts them all, julienne it for you. Makes it so, so easy. This also has a lock on it. See the little lock there? As does this. Turn it back to the locked position. It is also locked. So now perfectly safe, makes it very easy to clean. And because of the way it works, it has this little door underneath here, which exposes these blades and makes them super easy to clean, especially if you have one of our bottle brushes. You just put it up in there and that's that. I know some people who put theirs right in the dishwasher. Normally that is not what I do, because I'm usually using it too much to leave it in my dishwasher very long, but they are perfectly dishwasher safe. I'm not nuts about putting stainless steel blades in the dishwasher, only because of the dishwashing detergent that we use is designed to get dirt off of pots and pans and things like that, which means that over time it will dull your blades because it will nick them and all of that in an effort to make them very, very clean. So just that's a little side note, cost you absolutely nothing. So this is our mandolin. Again, one of my favorite pieces. I love using this mandolin. I'm going to put it aside because no dinner is complete without dessert. And tonight's dessert is going to be so quick and so easy. You're not going to believe this. This one, it's just fun. It's a fun dessert. I'm going to put my little ramekins here because tonight what I'm going to make is I'm just going to make an instant pudding. And I'm going to use my Power Chef. Again, something that I don't know how I cooked without this. I love this piece of Tupperware. And this Power Chef is clear so that you can see how evenly things are chopped or mixed or what have you. It also has measurements on the side so you can gauge how much liquid, whatever that you have in here. Just makes it so simple and so easy to use. It comes with a funnel. The beauty of our funnel is that when you're adding, say, flavorings or oils or something to your recipe, you have the funnel in the closed position like this. I hope you can see that. But when you're ready to add it, I mean, it can stay in here because there are measurements here within the funnel. So you know exactly how much goes in. You can measure it into the funnel. And then when it's time, I don't know if you can tell there, that see that little light there, that's the open position. So at the open position, it will start to drip down into your recipe so that you can very easily incorporate it. So that was a great idea. And then look at this terrific little cover, because there is an opening there. If you left it, if we just left that open, you would have things splashing up. So we just cover it just like that. Now everything is completely contained within here. It comes with a blade, which I use almost exclusively. This is my favorite, as I use this blade a lot. And the blade comes with a cover because this cover, these blades are super, super sharp. And believe me, it will cut you. So make sure that you, even when it's dirty, when I take it out of my recipe, whatever I'm making, I'll put the cover on right away so that I don't drop it down in my dishwater and reach for it later. Because if you do that, you know, you could cut yourself terribly. So I just leave the cover on all the time. It's just the best way to do it. I'm not using the cover tonight because tonight I'm using the paddle. My paddle looks like this. This is great for doing things like well, we're going to do instant pudding, but it's great for doing things too, like pancake mix, or you can even do a cake mix in here. But we're going to do some instant pudding. Let me get out my milk here. Oops, excuse me. We get milk, and I had my milk in here last night. Okay, so I'm going to put in my 2 cups, because it takes 2 cups of instant pudding. I don't know why my kitty is crying, but she's here at my feet, just near. There you go. And we'll open our pudding. This is just a chocolate pudding, so simple. And just pour it right in the top, right? And make a mess. Well, that's why you know this is live TV. This isn't cropped or anything like that. It is absolutely live. So here, after I made a mess. All right, I'm going to seat it down on here. And now I'm going to use my little motor here, and it works just like this. You just pull it. And it's going to, as it is with the instant pudding, it will start to thicken up. Now I'm going to use this because I see I have a little bit caught on the edges. So I'm going to make sure all of that goes down and gets incorporated. I can see it's working, but rather be safe than sorry. Okay. There we go. Oh, Linda, it's not on. There we go. Now I'm just going to pull. We're starting to thicken up. I can feel it because I'm starting to get a little bit of resistance on it. So I know that, and that's the way instant pudding works. Is you just shake it. It's a fun activity for kids because it's a lot of fun for them just to pull the motor or to shake it however you want to do it. Yeah, we're starting to really thicken up now. So I'm going to give it a couple more pulls. Okay, is that good? Yep. All right, now I'm going to sit this in my refrigerator for just a couple of minutes, not long, just a few minutes. And while I do that, I'm going to use its baby brother. Look at this cute little thing. Get my mess up off here. I'm going to use its baby brother. Isn't this cute? This was first designed to be used with herbs so that you can put your herbs, whether you're using cilantro or basil, whatever it is. It was great for chopping herbs, but you know, it's great for half an onion. You can put a couple of hard-boiled eggs in here and give it a pull, and it will make egg salad for you without using any mayonnaise. So it's just like the big guy, only it's little. See this little fella here? Now what I'm going to do with him, I'm going to take these Oreos and just put them in here just so that they're, okay, just break them enough so that they're in here. This works exactly the same way. Of course, it just comes with a blade, but it works exactly the same way and the same motor. This motor will actually fit on the Power Chef as well. So you can use it on the small one as well as the large one. They're completely interchangeable, which is very nice. If one is dirty, the other. Oh my gosh, that was fast. Just a couple of little pulls, and now I have all of these great little crumbles. Because what we're going to do is pour that on top of our instant pudding to make a really cute little dessert. Now, what I did was take these ramekins, and ramekins hold about, these will hold a half to 3/4 of a cup, which since we're using 2 cups of milk in our recipe, you'll get 4 1/2 cup servings. So that's why I decided to take the ramekins. And I mean, they're cute. You know, it always makes everything look like it's something super special when you can add it to a little ramekin, and everybody feels like they get their own personal little dessert. So makes it great. Let me do this. Wash my hands again really quick and get my pudding out of here. Oh yeah, the pudding is super set now. Didn't take very long. Over here. Take out the blade. And then, a little at a time. Just gonna put the pudding right down here in the ramekin. Like this. There you go, and I got to make sure each one has exactly the same amount, you know. You'd be, especially if you're dealing with kids, everybody will be looking to make sure there's one doesn't have more than the other one. And if you don't have one of our spatulas, I'm going to encourage you to get one of those as well. Our spatulas will get out every little bit, so you don't have a whole lot left over. There's not a lot of waste or anything like that. You can see it really gets it all. Which one needs more? Now that's pretty fast. Whoops. And of course I had to make a mess, but there you have it. Now, I think I pretty much got it out of here. I don't think there's a whole lot left in here. Enough to lick. We won't do that right now. There we go. All right, now I want to use the Oreos that I cut up. Put a little bit on the top of each. Perhaps you want to make, instead of Oreos, because this is chocolate, maybe you'd like to make some whipped cream, which works perfectly. And voila, there you have it. Now I'll just put these in my refrigerator and they will be ready for the dessert as soon as our meal is done. Okay, let me see. I'm going to put these in here. Oh boy, this is smelling so good. And put my little milk away. Our dessert's all ready. Perfect timing. Now, get this off. I'm going to sit here. Now, one of the things about microwave cooking that is good to remember is that you can always leave it in. You never want to take it out and just immediately lift off the lid. It needs to rest for just a minute. I think that the usual thing is 10% of the cooking time. So we cook for 15 minutes. So it should rest for about a minute and a half. I don't want you to have to stand here for a minute and a half to watch, but I want to show you how this turned out. Now, always when you're taking off and you notice I didn't have to use a hot pad to take it out because the handles stay cool, but I knew the bottom it was going to be very, very warm. So I did put a little hot pad on my counter. But when you lift off the lid, just make sure you lift it away from you because there's going to be a lot of steam coming off there. And there it is. The salmon is done. It is done to perfection. And then my little, where's my, get a spoon here. And now my veggies, they too are done. They're nice and soft and ready to go. Everything. I don't know if you can see them, but I'm going to put a little bit more of this on it because I think it's delicious on there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it this way because our Steak and Shop seasoning is one of those, we call it a DIY, do it yourself, DIY, do it yourself. And they are delicious. And we have these recipes on our website so that you can, oh, Linda, escapee. There you go. But isn't that, just look at how beautiful that turned out. It's just gorgeous, the color and everything in there. So now, oh, my little, put this over here. And now, oh, there we go. Let's give this a little turn. Maybe I shouldn't have put in that last little tablespoon of chicken. But this is almost done. I think when it sits here for a minute, it'll absorb the rest of it because it's almost absorbed now, almost 100% absorbed in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and that will make this delicious. So there you have it. What we call it, meals in minutes. Orzo, a little bit of Parmesan cheese on there. Our beautiful vegetables, all ready to go, beautiful, ready to serve. And of course, our salmon, which ready to eat. If you love salmon, this is good, ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's one of those quick and easy meals using the mandolin and all that. So I've made everything, including dessert, in a little less than an hour. So, and that is start to finish. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope it gave you some ideas about our products, about how they work, and the things that you can do. Modify the recipes the way you like them. There are things you could change and things you could do better, or however it would be a blessing to you. But they're just amazing products from Tupperware. I want to encourage you to go to contact your Tupperware representative, let them know that you might be interested in the multi-cooker, and she'll be glad to tell you how you can get one yourself. So thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And thanks for being, allowing me to make some mistakes too. But have a great evening. Thank you so much. Thanks for being on, everybody. Hope you